Hey there, and welcome to the 2 Feet First Entrepreneur podcast. I am so excited that you're here today. I have a topic for you that I'm excited to talk about. Today, we're going to talk about a project management tool and why you, as a content creator, need to be using one. Why you should be using one, I guess. If you're not using one already, you should be using it. So if you're using one, I hope you just kind of stick around. Maybe it'll give you new ideas or new things. But if you're not using one, this is for you. You totally need to hear this. This is going to be a game changer in your business. It helped my business so much. It helps you feel not overwhelmed with all the different steps and processes and all the different things that you have to do in your business because you're an entrepreneur. You are a content creating entrepreneur, which means that you are juggling multiple tasks and you're trying to stay organized with all of them. And this can be very, very challenging because there are a lot of steps in the process of creating content. And there's things like brainstorming, planning, writing, editing, and then publishing. And then after that, you have to promote and market the content. That's a lot of stuff. That's a lot of steps. So this project management tool can help you keep track of everything so you can stay focused and be more productive every day in your business. There are a lot of project management tools out there. So it's important to find one that works best for you and your needs. And if you're wondering, because I bet this is the question that you're having right now, is, okay, great. What tool should I be using? Which one should I be using? You tell me. And here's the thing. You ready for this? I can't tell you because it depends on you and your business and what you're looking for. Are you looking for more simple, looking for more robust? You just want it to look pretty. You want it to do certain things. You need to decide that. And everyone's different, so you need to find the one that works the best for you. But I'm going to tell you a couple, and then I'm going to tell you which one I use, okay? So the couple that I'm going to tell you, there's 5 that I'm going to tell you is ClickUp, Asana, Monday.com, Trello, and Airtable. Now, when I first started my journey of being more productive in my business, which was 3 years ago now, I started out on Trello and Airtable, because those ones were the easiest for me to get started. And I know that some people even start with just a Google spreadsheet. Okay. So you kind of do what works for you and your business. So I started out on Trello, and there are actually some really great templates that you can purchase for Trello. And I bet you there are for other ones too to help you get started even faster. But don't let those be like you're dictating this is how you have to do it. Adapt it to your business. Don't feel like you have to do everything, something like everyone else. And that's something that I actually encourage you not to do because our businesses are so different from each other. Even though you might feel like they are exactly the same, they are so different because you are a different person. So make sure you adapt them to you. So yet again, I started out on Trello, and I started on Trello with my one VA, my editor. And that's the only reason why I was actually using it is because it helped me send her projects and stuff that she needed to work on. And then I used Airtable because this is basically like Google Sheets on steroids or an Excel sheet on steroids. That's the way I explain it to people because then it kind of, you can visualize it a little differently. So you can have calendars, all the lovely stuff, right? But it is a spreadsheet form that you just kind of fill out that way. So if you like Google spreadsheets, this might be your place. But Trello is also really great as well. So I used Airtable for my Pinterest manager, and it was just an easy way to add in all of those pins that were happening in that space. So now I wanted to try to condense down as much as possible. I do still have to use Airtable for my keyword research that I do, the way I have it set up with my automation, the one that I use hasn't quite got there yet to talk to each other with an app called Zapier to make things automate for me. And so I have to use another app to give me what I want. So don't be afraid of doing that too. I recommend not doing that if you can, because jumping different places makes it kind of confusing and also gives you more steps. So try to keep it all in one place. But the place that I moved to that did a lot of what I wanted is ClickUp. That's when I switched to. It's very, very similar to Asana and Monday.com. It all ultimately came down to the fact that I liked the feel of ClickUp better than the other two. They're great tools, very, very similar to each other. I just chose ClickUp over the other two. So don't be afraid to pick whatever one feels best to you, because whatever you want to do, or if you're taking some course on something and it's telling you to use a certain one, they all are very, very similar that you can adapt and make them work for your business using whatever one you pick. So I just so you remember, I use ClickUp, but very similar, very, very similar to Asana and Monday.com. So the things that I do use in there is I transferred my VA. My editor VA is now on there, and so is my Pinterest one. And so, I mean, I'd have to show you the full thing, but that would just be a lot of work for you to look through that. I actually should show that sometime, walk through how I kind of do stuff, but that's not the point of this episode today, so we're not going to do that. So if you're interested in that, let me know. I'd love to share that with you, even if it's on social media. So let me know, DM me if you're interested. But the next thing that you might be asking after we talked about that you need this is, how do I get started with a project management? Oh my gosh, I almost say product every single time that I say project. I don't know what it is. It's something that I've always done. So if I say product, I'm meaning project, just so you guys know, for content creators. Okay. So how can you get started? Like I said before, you can buy templates. There are templates out there. And I'm pretty sure there's templates for all of them. And even inside some of those, they have templates to get you started. So that they're free templates that they have inside of their programs as well. They won't be exactly what you need. We talked about that as well, where you need to adapt it to your business. But there are a few areas that I would encourage you to make sure that you have. Okay. So number one is a brainstorming spot. Now, I've heard of a lot of people that have notes on their phone, that have planners full of them, that have workbooks full of them, notebooks full of them, whatever it is. I'm going to be honest with you. If you have a project management tool and you have a brainstorming spot to put stuff, it's always there. And here's the cool thing. You can search inside there. Like if you're like, okay, I want to do something along the lines of this, and I know that I've written it down somewhere. So maybe it's along the lines of automation for me. I could type that in and it would pop up everything that's associated with automations that I brainstormed, because I have automation in the description. So that way it pops up, and you can even tag stuff too. So you can filter based off tags. So I always try to tag it if it's an automation, an organization for business, finances, whatever it might be, focus, mindset, whatever it might be. That way I can quickly and easily, like if I'm sitting down and, oh man, I really feel like I need to talk about this topic today. What are some ideas for me? Boom, ideas. Lots of them. So I recommend having an area to brainstorm ideas. And then the next thing that I recommend is being able to have a content calendar. This can look different ways for your business and how you want to manage it. And I've been doing mine for quite a while, 3 years. We talked about that. And so mine is going to be more robust than you would be just starting out. But even then, maybe that's what you need, where I have a calendar. So the way it works in ClickUp is there's list calendars, similar to boards. I think it is called boards. So that's like Trello. Look, So they have those items, they have tables, they have, oh my gosh, they have so many more, but those are the ones I'm going to cover right now. So they have a list of items where inside that list, I'll just put stuff. But sometimes, you know what? You just need to see it in a calendar view. And so inside that list, it breaks down, which this is my next one, a place to map out where the project is at and the steps of the progress and the progress of it, the process where it's at in the process. So that could be like, I am in the process of doing keywords with it, or I'm in the process of editing the video, or I'm in the process of getting it ready to schedule, writing the content, whatever it is, it's in that process. Okay. So this area shows you that. But inside that, make sure that you can see it in calendar view. So that way you can adjust things. And this is the other cool thing about a project management tool is that if you write it in a calendar, paper calendar, to move it around, you have to erase it. You have to scribble it out. You have to white out it, if anybody even knows what that is anymore, and then rewrite it. Inside one of these tools, this project management tool, if you want to move things around, you click and you drag, or you click and change a date. Pretty awesome, pretty spectacular. So that is why I recommend the editorial calendar. So whatever one you pick, make sure that it does have a calendar view and I guarantee they all do that I named, because that is how crazy cool and crazy awesome and exactly what you need in your business is to see it in a calendar view. So just make sure that as you're mapping it out, you can have it in the calendar view to see where your editorial calendar is going with that content. And the editorial calendar is more of just like when it's due. And they also have other ones that map out where you're at in the progress of the whole completion. But that's if you like that. I haven't ventured into those yet because it's not the way my mind works. My brain doesn't work that way. Maybe I can tweak it to start working that way if I figure it out. So just remember that too, when we were talking about types. Do what works best for your brain, the way your mind works. Everybody's mind works so differently. I mean, I cannot tell you how many times I've had conversations with people and we're talking about the same thing, but we're talking about it just slightly different, that it's giving a different result. So don't worry if that's the way your brain works. And that's actually what makes you very unique. So don't be afraid to change it up, because that's awesome. Another thing that I recommend is, and this is actually one of the biggest reasons why I recommend starting a project management tool now. If you don't have VAs or if you don't have help yet, one day you will. One day you're going to want assistance. And if you don't, I kind of encourage you to start looking at the possibility. And this is where this tool comes in so handy, because it allows you to share stuff with these VAs. It allows you to give them tasks to do, to work on. So I actually have 3 VAs now. So they each have a different area inside of my project management tool. And this is where I send them content. This is where I send them tasks to do. This is where they know, they look there to see what's next. What do they have to work on? What's in their, if you sat down to look at your list of things to do, this is their list of things to do for the week for me. And so it helps them stay organized and me stay organized. And honestly, here's the really cool thing. When I change tasks, when, the mapped out area, the process, when I change certain things in there, it automatically sends it to those VAs. It's pretty spectacular. I don't even have to do it myself. I have it set it up as an automation. And so that is something else that now I think about when I am picking out a tool like this, a project management tool, is I like to make sure that they do have some type of automation with it. Now you can use another tool that's called Zapier, and I totally recommend this. Do not recommend the free version of that one. Recommend the paid version, the next step up, because it allows you different steps inside of one Zap. And that's a whole nother topic. I think I actually talked about it in a previous episode. So go look for that. I think it was an automation one. And I love that I don't even know it because I wasn't planning talking about it. So previous episode about automation, I do talk about Zapier. So check that one out. And now I really want to know what it is, but I'm not sure off the top of my head. So yeah, just allow yourself to be able to set up automations with that. And then we move into the next question number 3 that you're probably having, which is, what are the benefits of using a project management tool? And if you didn't notice, the last 2 questions that we talked about, I've been giving benefits the whole time. There are so many benefits to using this type of tool. Yes, there are pros and cons to everything. And yes, there are cons to using it, but the pros outweigh, super, super outweigh the cons. The cons are going to be so little in the fact that you don't even really, I don't even know why you would even consider not using one, other than if it's just something, even if you are not good at doing computer stuff, doing that kind of thing, it should not hold you back. Because guess what? They have apps for your phone, super easy. It's just like your notes on your phone, just like that. So if you're afraid about not having the tech side of it, it's completely fine. You can totally do it. It's still manageable, especially once you learn it and figure it out. But if that is the case, then make sure you do try to find a template to start you out, because that will help you out in the overwhelm feeling. But anyways, benefits. We're not talking about the cons. So the benefits, it helps you stay organized from the start to the finish of a project. I cannot tell you how many times before I started using this type of system, I would sit down and have to rethink through everything. Where was I at? And even halfway through, discovering that I didn't do something, and that's going to hold me back from finishing the project because I have to go refilm something or something like that. So I recommend that you use one because it helps you from start to finish. And as a side note too, because this is something that I learned, is we are content creators. That means that we're filming. Make sure you are using a shot list, which basically breaks down the steps of whatever you're filming and what you need to take video of. Game changer here. Just totally changed how I was filming. Before I was doing this, I was actually filming almost everything. And when you go to the editing process of that is a nightmare. It's very discouraging. It takes forever to edit through that. So just make sure you're using a shot list too. So side tip on that. But yeah, it helps you stay organized. And I wouldn't know about that unless I started using this tool that I'm talking about, because I had to think through the whole process to set it up. So I had to think through all my steps, and I discovered, well, why am I not thinking about this before I even go to filming? So it is a benefit in that sense that it helps you stay organized. And it also helps you see your project as you're just working through it. We kind of talked about that too. The biggest benefit for me and my business is that it helps me organize my systems and my processes. And the biggest one that I'm getting to with that, because you need the processes and the systems to be able to automate. So because of this tool, it allows me to click a button and automate something. It allows me to click a button and it does something for me without me having to do anything other than clicking a button, which could be that I click a button and it creates that shot list for me automatically, saves it to a certain file that it needs to go to, organized so nicely, gives me a link inside of ClickUp where I can easily find it, and voila, all I did was click a button. And also when I click that button, tons of other stuff happens as well. So don't let me fool you that I only click it once and it does one thing. No, it does so many things at one time. And that's why I recommend paying for Zapier. Just as a side note, go listen to that other episode. I should go into it more detail. If I don't, message me, DM me, send me an email on my website, DM me on Instagram, say, hey, you didn't go into it as much as I want, and we can talk about it more, okay? And if you are wanting to talk about it more, I do have a course called The Automated Assistant. Right now, it is not open. It's only open a few times a year for enrollment. And so if you do want to know more about automation, be sure to get on my wait list for that. I do talk about automation randomly through the podcast and on my social media, on my Instagram account. But that is where I walk you step by step on setting stuff up, walking through how to create your processes and your systems. And it's pretty spectacular. So if you want to be a part of that, make sure you join the waitlist. I will link to it down below so you can find it easily. But that's what I have for you today. There are so many project management tools available. And I just want to remind you that it's important that you find one that fits you and your needs. Don't let anyone sway you. Don't use ClickUp just because I use it. Find the one that you want to use. And side note too with that, do not spend a lot of time trying to figure out which one is the best one, okay? They're all fantastic. They're all amazing. They all do wonderful things. But like I said, they're all very similar. Spend at most an hour trying to figure out which one to use, and do not spend more than that. That is my side note for that one. But I hope you see the benefit in this. I hope you see the benefit of using this tool that will help you stay focused and organized so you can have more productivity in your business, which then will help you be able to create more content, which will help you reach your goals, which there's just so many things that you'll benefit from using one of these tools, especially if you start hiring people, it'll make it easier for that. So when it comes to content creation, a project management tool can be a valuable asset when helping you create quality content. And with that, I will see you next time.